All right. Happy Thursday, everybody. We have Ashleigh Mayfield on with us tonight. Ashleigh, do you want to unmute yourself?
Hey, everybody. What is up? I'm so excited. How are you, Jamie? First off,
I'm
I got to say, Jamie, you're freaking VIP, dude. I'm so proud of you. And you didn't just go VIP, you mother trucking crushed it.
Oh, thank you.
I'm so proud of you, girl. That's awesome.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited. It was such a fun ride. It was a long time in the works, so
Yeah,
our team just finally came together and we killed it, and we are marching straight on to Prez. So I'm so excited.
absolutely.
I'm
I
so
love it.
excited that you're here with us tonight. So I want to jump right in, and we do have a lot of newbies on tonight. So I want you to just share your story, share your why, your vision for your team, and all of that fun stuff.
Yeah, I'll try to do this super fast. Okay, if y'all don't know Ashleigh Mayfield, drop a 1 in the chat. Let's just call those people out. Brace for impact. I am who I am. I speak how I speak. I would do a massive disservice if I did not say thank you to Alyssa just for having me on, and Jamie, obviously, for hosting. I know you jumped in last minute, and I'm just so proud of you, and I'm so grateful to be here. So thank you guys for just letting me show up and bring my gift, right? Because that's why I'm here. And so I need to preface, I love all of you, and I love you before this Zoom, and I love you after the Zoom, and I love you during the Zoom, but I am not here to be your friend tonight. I am here to be a leader, and I'm here to pour into you. So I challenge you, turn your cameras on, lean in, and take notes, because y'all know I have to gonna say something good. I might not all be good, but I'm gonna say something good. So my name is Ashleigh Mayfield. I'm an Ambassador Diamond. I'm number 14 income earner worldwide, which is so ridiculous to even say, because I joined this business less than 5 years ago, and I had no vision and no belief in myself. Drop the number 2 if that's kind of where you're at. You're like, did I buy an elephant? Did I sell my soul to the devil? What really did I join? That's kind of how I started. So 5 years ago, I was a full-time retail manager. My husband was a pastor on staff at a church, and we literally had no extra money. How 2 humans working 50 to 60 hours only paid 40, where I'm a salary people at, that sucks, right? We weren't making money. It was just check to check all the time. It was miserable. We were exhausted, no time for our family. And it took me 18 months to jump in. I'd love to know how long has it, oh, thank you, Christine, that's sweet. How long did it take you to jump in? How long did it take you to say yes? It took me 18 months. I made fun of my enroller. And then at the 1 year mark, I was like, sitting back as a retail manager, maybe there's something about this, because her life is changing and mine's not, right? So I jumped in, and I knew exactly what I wanted. I had crystal clear vision. The company was giving away a free cruise in 2016. I saw my enroller go on it in 2015 when I was stalking her. And all I knew is I want to do whatever it takes to get on that cruise. That was my vision. Clarity is king. And she just said, go Ruby. I didn't even know what Ruby meant. I was ignorance on fire. I don't even know how I did it. I went Ruby in 2 months, and I got exactly what I wanted, and I stopped. Have you ever gotten exactly what you wanted and it took you out? Drop a yes in the chat. Okay. Look at that. Alicia, yes. Look at all these yeses. I hope I pronounced your name right, sis. I'm sorry if I didn't. Yeah, crazy, right? Success takes us out. Success stops us. Isn't that backwards? You'd think once we had a taste, we want more. No, it makes us complacent. It makes us lazy. We get a little money in the bank. We start going to Olive Garden instead of the McDonald's drive-thru, and we think we arrived, right? Okay, I see that, Ariel. She's like, yeah, I'm into Olive Garden. I thought I was somebody. And so I got exactly what I wanted, and I didn't know what I wanted after that. And I often talk about, if you tie, you die. If you get exactly what it is that you want, it'll take you out. High achievers have to raise the bar before they reach the bar, okay? And so I sat at Ruby for 7-8 months wanting to quit. I wanted to quit the first 8 months in my business. I was like, this is dumb. I'm never getting a diamond. I can't hold it all together. Why isn't my team working? Why can't I recruit more people? Who's ever asked the whys? It's clearly everybody else's problem but me. Okay. Showed up to my first event. Hope to Jesus you guys bought your $15 ticket for Saturday. Okay. Give me a freaking break if you didn't buy your ticket. Buy your freaking ticket. Show up to events. It's worth $15. Okay. Showed up to my first event because my enroller told me to. No other reason. They basically promised Jesus was going to fall from the sky. He didn't. I cried. It was fine. But something shifted 2 weeks later. And I have not stopped running since January of 2017. And there's a whole lesson in that because I did go through burnout Q4 last year. But I went from ruby to double diamond in 5 months. At double diamond, I had to slow down. I got introduced to the color personality. I'm like the queen of that, right? And it changed me as a human. It changed my entire life. I had to shift my leadership from being super dominant, bulldozing over people, getting exactly what I want. Where are my bulldozers at? Where are my reds at? I know I'm not the only red on here tonight. Okay. I had to pull back. I had to learn to speak other people's language. And because I chose to do that, from boom season of 2018 till boom season of 2019, I went from double, triple, pres, and ambassador. And now I've been in the business just under 5 years. I'm an ambassador. My husband's a presidential. I'm triple on my 2.0. And it's been a wild ride. There's lots of tears, lots of people quitting, lots of people I swore would always be with me. So many thoughts of quitting. Oh my gosh, have you ever thought about quitting like more than once? Drop a 4 in the chat. Like, I mean, maybe the other day I was thinking about it. You guys, let's be real tonight. I'm here to be real. I'm here to bring you no fluff. If you want fluff, get off. You watch the replay with your little safety blanket. Okay, I'm here to be real with y'all. This is not for the faint of heart, but it is worth every single moment. It is worth the investment because the woman that I am today is so different from 5 years ago. I'm unapologetic. I've discovered my voice. I'm so excited just to be able to pour into other women and raise that bar for high achieving women. And there's been so many times I've had to pivot who I am. I've had to unlearn and relearn. I've made mistakes. I've had to apologize. I've had people mad at me. I've been mad at people. But it's been the greatest ride. And right now, it's just absolutely changed my family's life. I've been able to bring my husband home. Am I allowed to say numbers on here, Jamie? Yeah. Okay. We paid off $63,801.99 in 6 months. As a double diamond, I was a double diamond making $12,000 a month. It was a different time then. We had 5 legs instead of 3, but don't tell me you can't hit 5 figures as a double diamond. You absolutely can if you understand the compensation plan. And now, like, I mean, my best friend's in town and we got to go shopping all day today. We took like 700 or 805 photos. She couldn't even get me 1,000 photos. It was only 805. She's over here having a heart attack. It's fine. It's a joke. But it's just, I'm able to say yes. I'm able to be the yes mom. I'm able to be present, and I'm able to dream in my what's next, because this is a beautiful vehicle to allow God to take you. This isn't about you becoming an ambassador diamond. Yes, we want you to become an ambassador diamond, because why not? The bottom is crowded. Get out of the bottom. It's crowded. Get to the top. Right, Jamie? Feels good being a VIP. But you guys, this is a vehicle. This is a vehicle. Your dream has never been to be an ambassador diamond. It will never be to be an ambassador diamond. There's a bigger purpose that this vehicle is taking you to, and you got to get there. And so I'm kind of walking through that phase right now, and it's a lot of fun. All right, that's my story, Jamie.
I love that so much, you guys.
I'll talk forever. Jamie, you just got to shut me up. I'll talk forever.
No, that was perfect. And you segued it perfectly into my first question, because you were talking about this being a vehicle to take you somewhere. And it's not just a title. It's not just ambassador or a $35,000 check or $100,000 check or whatever. It is you taking control of your own life. And I love that is so much of your message and of your vision for your team. If you have ever watched anything that Ashleigh's done, you've probably heard her say, you are the captain of your own ship. No excuses. You are responsible for your own ship. So I want you to dive right into what that looks like for you. What does it look like being the captain of your own ship? How do you take responsibility for your own organization? And how do you put excuses aside when they're real life excuses, when they're in your head excuses, all the things? I want you to dive into what that looks like for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's like this giant misconception that like ambassador diamonds have it all figured out, or that like VIPs have it all figured out, or that nobody tells us no and everybody wants to join us. Like, okay, I cry like that. Y'all, I be burping and farting the same way you do. Like, no, we gonna kick all the pedestals off tonight. Ain't nobody better than anybody on here, right? We just might have a little more wisdom and a little more experience. We failed more. That's it. I got time on you. That's probably it. But you know, I realized the shift that happened from me wanting to quit in my business when I was that Ruby leader, and honestly, a lot of it was my stubbornness. Where are my stubborn people at? Drop a 5 if you're like mega stubborn. Okay. I love it. I think the world tells us that stubbornness is this like negative trait. I think it's so powerful. Stubbornness is what kept me here. Okay. Like the grace of Jesus and stubbornness. Okay, I'm gonna talk a lot about Jesus because I love him. And if you don't, you can be offended. I love you though. And he loves you too. We can have a conversation about him. Yay. And but it was really my stubbornness because I said that I would give this business a year. And I wanted to quit month 7. The entire month 7, I wanted to quit. Like every day. When I say every day I cried, every day I cried. And I realized that it wasn't the business. We're so quick to blame the business, right? This doesn't make me feel good. So that means it's wrong. How many of you guys know growth is uncomfortable? Growth is painful, right? And I had to wake up January of 2017 and literally had to come into Jesus moment. Oh, thank you. You can clean this off. Are you taking a picture? She's so sweet. She's going to clean my desk now because I'm just so messy and I'm a hot mess. Okay, it's fine. You do whatever you need. But I had to make a decision that it was not an external thing that was holding me back. And you have to understand, I was at the time, I'm no spring chicken, friends. Okay. I was 32 at the time. I mean, I'm 36 now, I think. I was 32 at the time. And I just realized that like I've walked through so much pain in my life and it was so easy to blame. It was so easy. Like we were in full-time ministry. It was so easy to blame the pastor. It was so easy to blame the church. It's so easy to blame our mommy daddy issues. Like what are some things that you guys blame in your life? Mommy daddy issues, your network, your team, Mark and Cindy, y'all be blaming corporate. Like we all be blaming someone. Okay. And I realized at that moment in my life that it was not an external thing that was holding me back. It was me. This was an internal game. When people talk about mindset and development, and I had to embody, I am the captain of my ship. This is my ship. I am 1099. I am a small business owner. And you got to make sure you get from the waist up because you know my pants are wet. And so I had to make sure that I took full responsibility, and I call it extreme ownership. Being able to realize that, first off, have an aggressive patience. We have to be aggressively patient in this business, you guys. You have to show up every day aggressive, but you have to understand you're not crap. You are not entitled to anything, okay? And hear my heart, I love y'all. This comes from a place of passion, but I had to realize no one owes me their belief, right? Like my spouse, no one deserves to believe in me if I haven't proved myself yet. Like I first have to buy into my own vision before other people can buy into my vision. And are you operating on that level? Are you operating regardless of what's going on, regardless of life, regardless of the naysayers, regardless of the circumstance, regardless if 10 people tell you no tomorrow? Do you still believe? Do you still show up giving that full attention? Because guess what? And I'm not saying this is easy. You'll never hear me say this is easy. That's the first thing people want to be like, oh, you make it sound so easy. No, I don't. I'm telling you, I'm in the trenches right now with you. Because guess what? If I go through 10 no's, that 11th person, how do I not know that 11th person is ready to buy? But I didn't show up with the same intensity that I should have because I allowed myself to get knocked down, right? And so for me, extreme ownership and being the captain of my ship means that life is either happening to me or for me. I choose it's happening for me. There's a reason I'm walking through what I'm walking through. There's a reason I've gone through the struggles. There's a reason that I sat at Ruby for so long because I had to get a place in my mindset where I realized this was all on me. I couldn't sit back and wait for a handout. I couldn't sit back and wait for my upline to build me. That's not why she's there. That's not her responsibility to spoon feed me, grow me, give me all the resources. You guys, that when we do that to our downline, we actually become a lid for them, right? Like, no, you're 1099. Go be resourceful. Have you checked eSuite before you came to me? Did you check in the VIP group before you came to me and eSuite and Connect app and right? Like, it's about realizing that I am the captain of my ship, that I am in control, that no one appoints me. I don't need approval. I don't need permission. I don't need external validation. I validate myself. And when I flipped into that mindset, that I'm in control, that I believe, my confidence grew. Now, I'm not just saying this from a fluffy, like, oh, let me just read some affirmations in the mirror and we're all hunky-dory. No, like, baby, you get on them knees and pray, and then you put some legs to them prayers, okay? Because a lot of people want to sit back and say, oh, it's in God's timing. It's in God's timing. And you're hearing me say this a lot on my Facebook Lives now. We serve a right now God. I serve a right now God. Amen. I serve in the midnight hour type of God. So how do you know God doesn't want to move you up right now? God wants to bless you right now. God wants to break those generational curses, but you sitting back, not doing any work. And I realized if I wanted it, I had to move. No one had to tell me to move. I told myself to move. So for me now, being the captain of my ship, it's shifted so much. It was a point where I had to believe in something that no one else saw. And I couldn't let I didn't have to wait till someone else saw it. I had to create that vision in my head. The disposition comes before the position. And then it went to the point where I started attracting a higher caliber of person. So I was like, okay, I need to lead from the front. How dare I tell people to do something and I'm not doing it? That's not the captain of the ship. They know everything that happens on their ship, right? I might not be doing all jobs at all times, but I'm unafraid to be able to make those moves. And so I got to be a top recruiter. I got to be a top enroller. I got to be doing meetings. I got to be giving people my time. I have to be doing all this stuff. And then as I started growing to double diamond and VIP, it was like, okay, being the captain of the ship means you not manning the whole deck. It means that you're not doing all the responsibilities. You got to trust, you got to empower, you got to start releasing. And I had to start developing and being a leader of leaders at that point. And so it's evolved so much, but to me, it always comes back to this extreme ownership. Stop making excuses. Take responsibility. If you didn't do your host to post, freaking say you didn't, like, be a woman. I didn't do it. That's a full sentence. Not, oh, I didn't do it. My dog got sick. Okay, well, stop complaining about your paycheck. If every time your dog gets sick, every time you get a paper cut, you can't show up to a Zoom. Isn't that why we do this business? We have to be on a Zoom with our sick kid. We have to be on a Zoom when we don't feel good. Like our world, our society tells us we have to choose income or, you know what I mean? Like we actually get to do both. And so I don't know, I don't think that's both, but you know what I mean? And so for me, being the captain of the ship is just, it's ownership. It's that extreme ownership of, you know what? I didn't do what I was supposed to do. Or, you know what? That distributor quit. Okay. I can't make someone quit. I can't make someone stay. Like I don't have that power, and I'm not going to take, I'm not going to take credit for your wins. So I'm not going to take credit for your failures. Right. But being able to take a step back and say, is there something in my leadership that drove them to that decision? Was I a little too soft? Was I a little too hard? Was I a little too leaned in? Was I a little too distant? It's being able just to look and say, I might not have caused these situations to happen in my organization, but I have a responsibility to assess, to detach emotionally, to assess, to reevaluate, and to get back in and do it better. Does that make sense, you guys? Like, yes? And so
good. So good. I'm not trying to stop you at all.
No, you're fine. It embodies all of that though.
That is so stinking good. And I do want to say, if you are seeing 1,000 zeros in the chat, that is like our little fire emoji. That is like us cheering you on. So everybody,
okay, I didn't know, but I was rolling with it. I was like, they're fine. They're rolling on them zeros, but that's cool.
Zeros are fire emojis, and we are throwing so many fireballs at you right now. I know. Cue it up. Let's hear it. Is it a little machine?
Oh, well, that's on my thing, but I got my little hat. Pew, pew.
Oh, I love that. Okay, so I definitely did not mean to stop you. I was just going to interject something because you are leading right into my next question about it's about vision and it's about extreme ownership. And I want to break it down a little bit because I said earlier we have two groups of people on here. We've got people that have just promoted, and I just want to kind of tailor you a little. We've got people that are like leaders on here that are growing their teams and like trying to create vision for their own ships. And then we've got new people on here that are trying to build their own ship or trying to start captaining their first 2 or 3 people. So on a tactical day, like what does your wins look like? If you're going to win the day, what does that look like for you today? Like from a tactical, like what do you do for your business? Obviously a 6 list is the easy answer, but can you dive into that a little bit? Because I think our new distributors would love to hear what somebody that's number 14 in the company is doing every single day to win their business.
Yeah. So my business looks different day to day. So as much as I'm a dominant red, I'm a blue. And where are like my blues at? We're like squirrel, scatterbrain. Don't you dare put a calendar in front of me. Like absolutely not. Like we don't roll that way. I thrive in chaos. But I can tell you that now, like my business was a lot different on a younger, like when I was younger in the business, but now it looks a lot different. So like today I went shopping all day. Okay. So I'm going to be very honest with you. And so that was what my day looked like today. But what I can tell you is there's 3 things that I aim for every single day. It's beyond a 6 list or like a 5 list or something like that. But if you have like an hour a day, I break it up into 3 sections. And it's just the 3rd rule. I genuinely spend a 1/3 of my time developing myself. That's the first thing that we want to put on the back burner. And I talk a lot about alignment. You know, your thoughts, your words, and your actions all have to be in alignment. And I do this exercise on every Zoom. So I hope that you guys will participate real quick. I want to know, and I'm going to get real red. So brace for impact. Hashtag. I want to know right now, what is that? And I'll get back to the 3rd rule in just a second, but what's that check? What's that next check that would like make you want to slap your mama if you got it? Like for me, it was $6,000. When I first got 6,000, I was like, there's no way I could never go to corporate America and get $6,000. I want you to drop that in the chat right now. Everybody, there's 137 people on here. So 10,000, 10,000, 5,000. For some of you, it might be a $500. That's okay. That's okay. What's that next check? I'm talking like, you call up your pastor and be like, you know, you run around the yard naked. Like, where would you just lose your mind? What's that check? Okay. 12,000, 6,000, 7, 5, 5, 5, 15, 5, 10, 15. Oh my God. I love this. Keep pouring in 8. Oh my gosh, Melissa said $3,928.60. I feel like that's something very, very specific. Kirsten said 10,000, 8,000, 5, 5, 10, 10, 2. I love this. Keep it flooding, keep it flooding. Oh my gosh, so many. 20,000, 2,000, 10,000, 30,000, 3,000, 10, 15. Perfect. I love this. This is great. Okay. Now I want to ask you a very direct question, and you'd be dead honest. I'll wait for the first person who's actually honest. How many books, BOOKS, how many books have you finished in the last 90 days? In the last 90 days. Emily, thank you for being honest, Emily. You were the first one to be honest. She said 0. Okay. Now, this is where you're going to thank you. Good job, Nicole. Zeros. Look at all these zeros, you guys. Zeros, ones, zeros. Okay. So how big is your ego that you think that you can build a business online when you know you couldn't go get, what would y'all say? $10,000 a month, $30,000 a month, 20,000. Y'all couldn't go get that in corporate America, but you think being who you are right now that you're entitled to that? Absolutely not. You need to be developing. To say, I'm not a reader, I don't read very good. Okay, screw that. I said that too. I was in 7th grade gifted classes with a 3rd grade reading level. My friends bought me Curious George books. Yeah, I it was real funny in school, bawled my eyes out that night, couldn't read big words. I was like Lloyd Christmas and Dumber Dumber, and Harry's like, you know, and so like I couldn't read. I didn't like reading out loud. So, but you guys, you have to develop the person that your success requires. Your success requires a different version of you, just like it requires a different circle than what you have right now, a circle of friendships. If the people in your life right now were meant to take you to $10,000, they would. Those aren't your people. You're going to outgrow them. Okay. You're going to outgrow relationships. You got to outgrow where you're at right now. And if you're not developing yourself, there's going to be a point where you start tapping out. Right? Development is so important. And sometimes it's not even, sometimes it's because you don't know things. I learn things that I don't know. Sometimes it's preventative. Sometimes I'm like, hey, I've never walked through that, but like I read about it. Here's an answer. Right? And so I spend a 1/3 of my time developing myself, whether that's podcasts, reading books, watching sermons, YouTube videos, going to events. I'm doing something to intentionally pour into myself because I am not done. I will not be finished until I go to heaven, and I probably still won't be finished. I don't know, because I'll be like the loser of heaven or something. But like I deserve, like Jesus has put a calling on my life, and I deserve to be the best, right? In that calling, to serve him, to serve my husband. He deserves the best wife. My kids deserve the best mom at her best. My business deserves for me to be at my best. Well, I'm not at my best if I'm not taking care of myself. I'm not at my best if I'm not eating good. I'm not at my best working 22 hours a day. Like, I'm not here to tell you to work more. I'm not here to tell you to hustle tonight. I'm here to tell you to stop. Like, some of you, you don't need to put more on your plate. You actually need to get things off. You need to like stop trying to go to like all these different places and do all things for all people. Some of you got to get real clear about what it is that you want and say no to everything that doesn't bring you to what it is that you want. You got to get things off your plate, right? But I have to grow and develop myself. Otherwise, I don't know what I'm missing out on. So I spend a third of my time doing that. And that sounds like a lot. Yeah, there's no excuse for me for you to not do personal development every day. I call bull crap. You have time. We all have 24 hours in a day. You're not prioritizing it, right? You can listen to podcasts when you're in the shower, when you're driving, when you're cleaning, when you're getting ready for the day. You have enough time to wake up early or go to bed late reading 10 pages of a book a day. I call bull crap for anything that's not a yes. Okay. So I spent a third of my time doing that. I spent a third of my time building my business. I am wicked consistent online. That's it. I'm not better than you. I don't have some super secret galactic triple black ambassador, double 2.0 diamond black book that has these like scripts that only work for me and my team and not you guys. Absolutely not. People tell me no all the time. People still tell me I'm in a scam. I just joke when they're like, what do you do? I'm like, I sit at the top of one of those pyramid things. I actually thought that would deter people. No, I actually had people like, oh, tell me more. I'm like, oh, great. Here we go. It's fine. But like, I have to run my business. I often find that there are leaders that want to do all the personal development in the world. They'll buy every course, they'll go to every event, they'll buy every book. And then they want to manage their team. They want to lead their team and tell their team what to do. And they want to have team meetings, but they're not running their business. It is a matter of time. It doesn't matter what you know. And it doesn't matter what you tell your team. Your team is not stupid. You have to lead from the front. You got to fill out your steps to success. That should be a priority because you have to be the captain of your ship. You have to set that bar because how are you going to teach your downline to recruit if you're not recruiting? How are you going to teach them to enroll customers if you're not enrolling? How are you going to teach them to sell samples if you're not selling samples, right? And so it's important that you are making sure that your business is priority. And sometimes that's really hard for us to like make our business a priority over our team. But I felt bad about that for a while when I started making like 5 figures a month. I was like, oh my gosh, no one else is. They're going to think all these things, right? Like that's the story we tell ourselves. They're going to think all these things like, oh, and it was like, no, I get to make the most money to show them what's possible, right? Like, and I'm not going to feel bad about that. I'm going to be like, okay, I'm doing it. Let me show you. I'm only bad about it if I brag and don't show them. No, I'm going to tell y'all I'm number 14. I'm going to tell y'all I'll be making some nice checks and I'm going to help another woman sit at the table. Amen. That's what we do. Okay. And so I have to build and you have to stay at the front door of your organization. I promise I'm round and 30 coming home. I'm so long winded. Jamie's like, Jesus, this is like a camp meeting. We're going to be here all night. Sorry, Jamie. Okay. And so, but I have to keep recruiting. Too many people stop recruiting when they get a team. And I'm telling you, the leaders that get you to diamond are probably not going to take you VIP. And if you stop recruiting, you just become this stinky little pond. And it's just, you get so tired of coaching the same leaders over and over and over. They're not growing. They're tapped out. It's okay to ruffle feathers. I can't tell you how many times I've been like, oh, y'all are sitting. Okay, I'm running. And I ran ahead. And guess what? They get up and start running with you. Or new people come in and they're matching your pace. So I have to keep my business going. That's my responsibility. But then I do spend a third of my time with my team. I can't go all day without not talking to my team. Some of y'all might go like a week without even getting back. Like, you guys, we are not here just to recruit a distributor, pop 2 customers underneath them, get a fast start bonus, and okay, they got it. I taught them. No, we lead, we show up, we coach, we mentor, we sponsor, right? And so we have a responsibility, and it baffles me when we have people that are just like, and I'm not here to like knock mass recruiters. I am not a mass recruiter. I am a leader through and through. I value leadership and duplication. But it kills me when, I talk to other people that are mass recruiters and they're so focused on their development and their business, and you're doing great. You don't have anyone else in your team that's making money. No one else, like you're your whole organization. I just didn't want to be that. I'm not good enough to be that. Like, shout out to all those people. I'm not cool enough to do that. So I just said, okay, if I make sure that I'm doing my steps and I make sure everyone else is doing their steps, like, man, we'll duplicate. I'm not here because I'm like the biggest recruiter or I climbed the top the fastest. I mean, I don't even know what all the reports do in eSuite, but I know how to lead a team. I know leadership. I know how to grow people. I know how to develop people. And that matters to me. I'm like born, it runs through my veins, leadership does. Okay. It's my gift. And so you have to do all these things. Now, what's really funny, and we can transition with this, Jamie, is all three of those things are really important, you guys, because you can take yourself, and if you think about it in thirds: development, your recruiting, your business, and then your team's business. You can run your business and your team's business for so long, but you will tap out, because what happens, have you ever, we're like rubies and above, or like diamonds and above, drop a yes if you ever felt like you promoted but you weren't like ready yet. Drop a yes if you're like, oh my God. I mean, that was me. I can't tell you how many times I promoted. I was like, I was not ready for this. Well, you're gonna stay there, and it's all gonna crumble if you don't have that development. But sometimes people want to put that on the back burner. And then we have the other situation I alluded to, where you're developing yourself and you're taking care of your team. You're a great manager. Your team sneezes and you say bless you. You do great, right? And you develop yourself, but you're not recruiting. Guess what? Your team's gonna think that you a dirty liar. Your team is gonna sniff you out. Alyssa and Jamie be doing shout outs and your name's not up there. Wait, in fact, my leader's name is never up there. Right? It's a matter of time before your team is like, are they even working? Like, I only see my leader post once a week. I never see my leader get shouted out that she filled out her steps for the month. Your team's not done. And then there's the people I've already alluded to, where you're doing all the personal development, you're filling out your steps to success 15 times, and no one in your organization is winning, because you're your whole organization and you have an expectation. Well, I'm doing it. Why aren't they doing it? I told them what to do. Why aren't they running? I'm running. Why aren't they? I have vision. Why do I have it? And all three of these have to come into alignment for you to want to be able to grow. So every single day I'm doing these. Now there's moments when my team has a lot of promotions. Yeah, it's a little out of alignment. My team's the priority. There's moments when I've been promoting, my business was the priority. It comes in waves and seasons, but every day, it doesn't matter if you're a new distributor, a Ruby, a VIP. These three things matter. Like, they matter, and they're your foolproof plan to just being like a well-rounded leader.
Oh my gosh, can we get 5,846 zeros in the chat real quick? That was so good. So good. And I've got like an order of events, because I thought about what I was going to ask you and I wanted to use our time wisely, but I'm going to flip my next two questions, because you just talked so much about being a mass enroller, and drop I don't know, what number are we on? 5, 7? Drop a 5 or a 7 if you are a mass enroller. And I want you to talk to that little group really, really quickly, because I feel like I'm personally a mass enroller. I always have been. It's my jam. I love to do it. I don't expect it from everybody else, but I love it. That's what lights me up. And so those months that you're not that mass enroller, what do you tell your team that like that is what they are? Like, if I was under you and you know that I enroll a crap ton of people, and this month I come to you and I'm like, Ashleigh, something's going on. It is not my month. It's a slow month. What do you say to me? How do you coach me through that? Because I feel like we came off of a really big month last month, and this month has been kind of weird. So I think that we are probably in good company, and that answer will be well heard.
Yeah. Are we being like real tonight? We being real?
Oh, for sure.
Real. So last month was absolute fire for my organization. It like exploded like the last, I don't even know, like halfway through the month, we like turned on. It was unstoppable. Like, I don't even know. We were on fire. I don't even think we've recruited 25 distributors this month in my entire organization. It's like weird. Like it's like, I'm almost laughing like, what's going on? Like, does everybody hate me? Did like my team, like the chats are quiet. I don't even know what's going on. So a couple things I would say to a mass enroller. I first want to say, if you're on here and you're like a new distributor, I think mass enroller means something different to everybody. So let's just like say that, right? Some people are like, oh, that's like your steps to success twice. Some people are like, oh, that's like 100 customers and 50 distributors. I think a lot of times for people that are typically not, this does not mean everything, but typically those people that are really hard workers or like high achievers, those are the ones that get really juiced up on. Usually they have some kind of yellow in them or some kind of red in them, right? That are like those high achievers. And if you're like a yellow red, then you probably really high achiever. And you just like, you like to mass enroll and that's your jam and that's fine. Usually people that I will say, I don't think I have anyone in my organization that is like a mass enroller to that capacity, like 50 distributors and 100 customers. There's not a single person because that's not who I am, right? And so I don't teach that. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. So I have a very strong opinion about mass recruiting. And this is why, because typically when you see someone that's a mass recruiter, they're the glue and like they're with, if they're one week long diarrhea away from their whole organization stopping because they are their organization. And so what I can tell you is when I was a double diamond, I went from ruby to double diamond in 5 months. It was fire. I basically manifested the $6,000 paycheck. I was like, there's no way I'll ever make it. I wrote $6,000 down on a piece of paper. I looked at it every day. I visualized it. Like within 90 days, my first double diamond check was over 6,000. It was bananas. Okay. It was a very wild time. And the moment I hit double diamond, I realized I was like the only one winning and people were leaving me faster than they were coming in. And I was like, whoa. And this is when I was already like having self-awareness and trying to develop that. And I just had to look, and the color personality really helped me realize this. I realized like I'm a red blue through and through. I'm like a negative 37% green and I'm not yellow, like 5, 6, 7%, barely that. And I realized I had to learn other people. I had to learn how to be a yellow. I've not changed. I'm still not a yellow. Okay. I love you over there. You're not getting the shirt off my back. I earned this. Okay. If I get your own shirt, I'll teach you how to get your shirt. Ain't no handouts with Mayfield. I have no sympathy. Okay. And so my poor family, I know Ursula's over here like, she ain't got no sympathy. But I realized I'd learned to speak other people's language. And I can tell you as a high achiever, as someone who was like bulldozing people in, I felt like taking 2 steps back to slow myself down in order to spend more time with my downline to teach them how to enroll and recruit. Oh, it was so painful. I was like, what am I doing? I can't believe I'm stopping everything. No, it really was 2 steps back, 10 steps forward. Because what I did is in my moment when I felt like it wasn't my month, like I wasn't jiving, I realized, what if I just slowed down enough? And I talk a lot about, I teach a lot of that. There could be a leadership gap. You could be up here and your organization is down here. And this gap could be many things that your team can see you and say, I'll never be her. Why even try? I'm going to fail her. I'm going to disappoint her. And sometimes we have to pull ourselves down a little bit to allow our team to catch up. And as a high achiever, it feels so painful, but that's where you have to go from seeing the microscope to the telescope. You got to have big vision and long vision, right? And you have to be able to say, dang, this isn't just here in me. What if they might not ever be on my caliber. That's okay, right? You might be saying that. But what if I just pull myself back a little bit, pour into them more, teach them, even if it's like a 90-day see, do, teach. I'm going to teach you what to say. We're going to do it together the next month. The third month, I'm going to support you. Something, create some kind of system, right, to develop leaders. And how much better would you be 90 days, 60 days, 30 days after you did something like that, where you go back to mass recruiting and now the foundation of your organization has raised, right? And so I think like as a mass recruiter, there's always, no matter whether you're doing steps to success or being a mass recruiter, you're always going to come to a moment of burnout. You're always going to come to a moment of it's just not your moment. Every single person has a bad month. I can tell you this month is not going well for me, like at all. Okay. Everybody is going to experience that in their business, you know, and I think that's why it's good. Like, yes, we're looking at the month, but you're also looking like, yes, you're looking at the day, you're looking at the week, you're looking at the month, but you're also looking at the overall year. And what's so funny is at the end of every year, my double diamonds and above, the last 2 years I've done this, I always create a survey and I make them fill it out. And I say, take a bird's eye view. How many months out of 12 did you fill out your steps to success? How many person enrolled people over the year did you have promote? Because we can look at December and be like, oh my God, December's terrible. I'm the worst leader ever. But when I look back, 10 out of 12 months, I did 3 steps to success. Like I'm not a loser. We have to remember to take a step back and look at that big picture. And so again, every mass recruiter, everyone that does steps to success, they're going to have a bad month. But I think just in those moments, making sure when you're like, okay, this is not my best month. It's 8 days left in the month. There's not a lot of things probably going for me right now. How can I help my team end strong? So I'm going to show up in my business for them. So I'm going to hustle a little bit harder with a little bit different intention. My recruiter is, I got to recruit to help this person promote. I got to sign a customer to help this person promote, but I'm also going to pour into them and help develop them during this time. So I guess depending on specifics, I could take it multiple different ways, but I would say a lot of times it's just a matter of like pulling yourself back for a very short season to be able to develop people up.
I love that so much. And I put it in the comments. That was 2020 for me. I promoted Double Diamond 2 years ago, and it was a rocky rest of 2019. And then 2020 was literally so consistent because we just grew that foundation. And I think that is so important that it's something, it feels like it's setting you back or that you're holding yourself back, but you aren't. You are just pouring into the people that you want to bring with you on this journey. So I love that you said that. I felt that like deep in my soul, because there are months that you have to just look and say, hey, it may not be a 50 customer month or whatever. It's going to be a 20 customer month or a 10 customer month. And I'm going to help these 2 newbies go Ruby. And that's a freaking win. That is a stinking win. So I love that so much. Since you're talking about turning around when it's not about you and you're not the mass enroller and saying, hey, how can I help you? Can you give I know you could talk for hours on the color personality, but can you give like a 1 minute synopsis on best way to coach a yellow, best way to coach a red, best way, or like pull the best out in them? Maybe not 1 minute, maybe like 5 minutes each or something. But
so color personalities, if I'm coaching a red, I think like I'm a red, so clearly I speak that language very well. Everyone say hi, Mr. Mayfield. He just walked in. It's like a party in the office here. It's fine. See, I'm a blue. I can handle all this. So a red, I'm literally going to give them the finish line. I mean, clearly all of these people, let's all start with a foundation. All of these people, I'm going to find out their why. I'm going to find out why they're here. I'm going to use that to, influence them to go where I want them to go. Okay. It's not just like I'm barking orders at people. So with that understanding, with a red, I'm literally going to help them create their finish line, and I'm going to get out of their freaking way. Reds, we don't want to be micromanaged, but we want clear communication. Like if you know that I'm going left and I should be going right, and you're sitting back saying, ooh, Ashleigh's kind of intimidating. I don't know. I think she might get mad at me if I tell her. How many of you softer, like sweetheart yellows lead a red, right? That's kind of scary as crap. And because we're scary. Okay. And, but if you know that I'm going left and I should be going right because I could win right, don't you dare hold that back. You better say, now approach matters too. I'm going to say, hey, Ashleigh, I know you want to win and cross this finish line quick. Can I help you get there faster? Psh, you just spoke my language. Win faster? Like, yeah, what? You're going left. If you go right, you're going to win faster. And here's why. Boom. I'm going to be very clear. We do not beat around the bush with us. If we're doing something wrong, don't, hey, you're so amazing, Ashleigh. I love how consistent you are. You know, if you kind of want to post selfies more and not share, that'd be great, but you're doing so great. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't, just tell us what we need to hear. Be very clear, be very direct with us. We can handle it. And again, I think I'm just going to speak that language. Like, hey, I want to help you win faster. Hey, I know how important it is for you to pay off that credit card. Let me help give you a shortcut. Let me help get you crossing your finish line. So I'm going to just speak that language, but I'm not going to micromanage that person. I'm always like assessing. I'm always holding people accountable. So it's going to be like, hey, in the next week, what do you want? Oh, I want 1 distributor and 2 customers. Cool. We'll talk next week. And then I'm in the next week. Hey, how did that go? And I'm just going to assess them, but I'm going to let them run. Because reds are pretty, they're going to tell you, oh, I'm really pissed off. Oh, it's not working for me. Or, oh, I feel great. Like, they're not going to mince their words. We're very clear with how we are. Blues, I'm going to speak a lot different. Got to make it a lot of fun. I'm not going to make it about rules. I'm going to do lots of emojis, all these 0 fire flames. Oh, it's not just going to be 1 emoji. You don't say okay to a blue. Absolutely not. That means you're pissed at us. As a blue, we need you to overly emotionally compensate. So I'm going to be like, girl, you're a winner. Oh, I'm so excited. And you almost have to create this FOMO. Like, girl, I want to help you fill out your steps to success this month, because I don't want you to be the only one not doing it. Like, what? I can't miss out. I'm going to create some kind of FOMO with them. But with the blue, I am going to check in more with them than I am a red, because blues, we squirrel. We go where our emotions go. And so blues are the ones that come in and they're like, oh, I'm going to be a millionaire overnight. And then you don't hear from them. They like join the witness protection program and you don't hear from them for 3 weeks. And then they come back at month end and they're like, but why am I not going diamond? I knew I sucked at this. And you're like, are you freaking kidding me right now? Like, are you serious? But you can't say that to them, because then you're going to break their little heart. Right. And I know, because I'm a blue and I'm emotional psychopath. I'm not even going to make eye contact with my husband, because that I don't say stuff like that, but that is a prime example of how I just am in life. The greens are like, don't cross the road, don't cross the road. And like the rebellious blue in us, like, mother trucker, you're not going to tell me I'm not going to cross the road. And then we cross the road and we get hit by a car, and then we start crying that we got hit by a car. And the greens are just like, are you kidding me right now? Like, I told you everything. You're just stupid. Right. And so it's fine. Blues are amazing. You want blues in your organization. They're the people, but like, blues, get them in front of the camera for the love. Yes, they're going to be afraid of judgment, but they need to, like, they have such good energy and they speak people, like, get them in front of people. Yellows, those are the nurturers. Here's like the secret with yellows. Yellows do not know what they want. And sometimes as a red, this is what I had to learn as a red, because I know exactly what I want. I can articulate very well. I'm very direct, very concise, very clear. Yellows don't know how to do that. So when you ask a yellow question, you're going to get a deer in the headlights, and they're going to be like, oh my God, what answer does she want? I'm not making eye contact with my friend Ursula, who's a dominant yellow behind me. And what answer does she want? I don't want to disappoint her. I don't want to fail her, right? And so yellows, I've learned, as I lead them, I'm going to say, hey, it's May 1st. Hey, Ursula, I'm so excited about this month. Do you have a game plan, or can we create one together? It's always either or questions with yellows. Hey, do you know what you want to achieve this month, or can I help you? Hey, do you know what goal you want to crush today, or can I help you? Because when you give them an out, don't belittle a yellow. They're very intelligent. Yellows, I love yellows. They're one of my favorite colors because they're workers, but they love instruction. And I love to boss people around. So it's a great combination, right? And I say that because it's like, hey, do you have your own plan? Or can we come up with one together? And you want to know what every yellow says 99.9% of the time? Oh, can we come up with one together? Perfect. That means you're giving me permission to tell you where I want you to go. Awesome. I love it. And yellows love clear, direct, like yellows, tell me I'm wrong. Like, am I right or am I right? You want, like, just tell me what to do. Now, there's at some point, it's like, okay, you got to get off the TT. Like, we can't be breastfeeding babies forever, amen. So at some point you have to develop that on the inside of them. But yellows, I'm going to help a yellow understand that this business is like just it oozes who they are. They're here to nurture and serve. And so you get to serve the people that are partnering with you, and you get to serve your customers. But I'm going to do a little bit more hand holding with yellows. They overthink a lot of things. And so I'm not only going to raise the bar and challenge them, but I'm just going to be very clear and direct, and not like, don't speak over their head. Sometimes, like when we get new distributors, we're like, oh yeah, when you go to E-Suite and run downline activity and you see your PE and those are your DT and like, they're like, oh my God, I don't understand. Don't make a yellow overthink. Just really clear, simple, precise instructions works really well. I think a green, the biggest thing that I'm going to say for them is they just want all the information. And I often find that greens want so much information that it's a fine line between greens need information. You cannot throw them to the wolves. It will like shock their system, not like a red. Reds, it'll shock our system in a good way and will like survive. A green will literally shut down and drown. Okay. So they need information. You have to tell them what to do because they're not risk takers. But it doesn't mean I have to give them 5,947 different ways. And so at some point, I'm going to give them step 1 and step 2. And then I'm going to be very clear they do not need step 5. Hey, this is where you're at. This is what you need to know. This is what's coming next. And they'll be like, okay, what does a generational bonus mean? I love that you asked that question. You do not need to know that information right now. Greens, very direct. Do not waste their time. Speak clearly. It's yes, it's no. And one thing with greens, you have to understand if you're not a green, when you ask a green, how are you doing? And they say, okay. That is like a blue saying, oh my God, it's the best day ever. And if you're emotional and you don't understand that a one-word answer from green does not mean they're angry, you are going to have a very like emotional day. Because I'm like, oh my God, what did I do? They hate me. Because guess what I say when I'm angry? Okay. Because I'm pissy, because I'm petty Betty, because I'm a blue. Okay. But greens know when they tell you they're okay, they're genuinely okay. And so a little rule of thumb, one thing that I realized when you're checking out at the register, like you guys should actually like talk to your cashiers instead of being on the phone. The more you start engaging people in conversation, you can find out a little bit about their personality. Like if I go and check out at Walgreens, the red is going to be the one that like has the piece of paper with the pen. And they're like, hey, and you can see their tally marks. And you're like, hey, do you want to donate $1 to the Children's Foundation? And they're like, I got another one. Like those are the reds. The blue, you're like, hey, how's your day going? Like, oh my gosh, I cannot wait to get off work. Like I have a party to go to tonight. Like, oh, I have another 5 hours. You know, they're a blue. Like they don't want to be there. They don't like work. Hey, how's your day going? Oh my gosh, my kid is sick. My husband, I take him to the doctor. I'm a little worried. Like, that's a yellow. They're already talking to you about their family. And hey, how's your day? Good. That's a green. Like they probably agree. They just good, right? And so that's a little bit. I mean, obviously there's like different ways that I would lead each color personality, but that's like a general overview of the main things that I'm going to teach on, or that I'm going to like guide them to.
Oh my gosh, that was so good. I love the chat blowing up with everybody like, oh my God, I'm a blue green. Oh my God, I'm a yellow or a red or whatever. I'm like through and through a rainbow. I'm a lot red, but I got a lot of everything in me. I don't even know how that works, but that's what God said. So I'm a yellow. When I take the test, it says that I'm like a solid red.
If you think you're a little bit of everything, you've got yellow in you somewhere. If you're not first, you might be second yellow.
I think you're right. I have 2 degrees in psychology, so I have like a lot of like people feel I take that on a lot. But I'm also here for the party. Like that's why I joined this business, and I came from corporate where I was like solid green. So it's like, and I'm way uber competitive. So like literally a rainbow. So fun. But I love that you explain that so well, because I see light bulbs going off even in the chat, because like with all of the newbies, like, oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. Oh my gosh. And I hope that the leaders that are growing teams or have teams are paying attention, because you can mentor and coach your people so much more effectively if you know how to speak to them. And that is why Ashleigh is so passionate about the color personalities, because you have to be able to talk to your people. If you want to grow an organization, you have to be able to talk to your people in an effective manner. we are cutting close on time. We normally keep these at an hour. I've got about 900 questions left, so we'll just wrap those up. And but no, so we've spent a lot of time talking about leaders. What I kind of want you to go out on is talk to our newbies a little bit. How do you, first, what do you wish you would have known back then that you know now? And what can you tell them to encourage them to take advantage of this season? I love that you said ignorance on fire earlier, because that is so stinking true. Like, grasp a hold of it. But just kind of talk to our newbies a little bit. And then any other closing words that you want to throw in. I'm not cutting you off at 9:30 by any means, but I do want to be mindful of your
Yeah,
time.
no, you're totally fine. I appreciate this. I always have so much fun. So I think the biggest thing for me is I wish that I would have worked on my belief system sooner. I think I wish I would have developed more. A lot of my stubbornness, I isolated myself on the way up to the top, and it served me. And I'm not going to go into that because my enroller's no longer in the business. She left 2 days before I went presidential. She was not involved in my organization once I hit Ruby. She was just someone that I knew that I didn't want to. So it's not apples to apples. So I don't want to share that part of my story because I don't at all want a Ruby thinking they need to make their own team page. Like, I would kill a Ruby on my team if they did that. Like, literally, like, you can shut your page down or you can leave my page. That's how these dice are going to roll. You want to lean in. Like, you guys have such a powerful organization. So I almost allowed my stubbornness to take me out a little bit because I didn't want to ask questions, and I wanted to figure it out myself. I didn't want to collaborate with other people. And again, I think it served me so well, but I think I might have been able to go a little bit faster or even make a little bit more of an impact. But really, I think that belief system is so powerful when you understand that you are in control, when you understand that life is happening for you and you have a responsibility for how you deal with it. I think that nothing that comes against you, it's almost like I joked in my first episode of bringing the podcast back last year is I was raised on Mario. So everything's like a game to me. I'm very solution minded and I'm always trying to like figure out, okay, well, how can I make it work? Right? Like, the answer is never no. It's just, what do I need to say, or what do I like, how can I make the situation work? And that's because now where I'm at, my belief system is different. I have a confidence about myself. I believe what I put my hand to turns to gold. I believe when I walk in a room, I have a presence. I believe when I show up, the microphone's going to be in my hand. And that's because I changed the way I looked at myself. And I wish I would have had that so much sooner. I developed it. It all worked out the way that it needed to. We all go through the experiences we need to, but I wish I would have taken it so much more serious sooner. I sought that external validation to the point that it ran me into burnout, to the point that I wasn't taking care of myself. And it's exciting. Listen, it's exciting being on the stage. It's exciting. And I'm gonna be real. Y'all know, like, I've been real all night. I'm gonna keep being real. Okay, that's who I am. But it's exciting to be able to have opportunity to be used. But like, I was like getting sick over like an opportunity to speak for like 30 seconds on stage. Like, my life is so much bigger than holding a microphone for 30 seconds or 60 seconds. Do you guys get what I'm talking about? And when you realize that this is just a vehicle, and it was the moment my belief system grew in such a way where I was no longer looking at the microscope of just it works. And this is not about leaving it works. This is not about going anywhere. Like, no, hear my heart when I say this. This is just about understanding that at the end of the day, I'm not going to walk away from this business because it is my vehicle. Now, I have other streams of income, but this is my vehicle, right? And it's taking me to the gifting, to the dream, to the calling. So every time you want to quit this business, I'm not saying everyone's called to do the business. Like, some of y'all might quit soon. That's fine. Toodaloo, right? It happens. Just like not everyone's supposed to be a teacher, not everyone's supposed to be a doctor. But why would you? Oftentimes, it's not that people want to quit the business. It's they're frustrated with themselves because they don't have that belief system to get uncomfortable. You become your own lid. And I'm grateful that I learned it when I learned it. I just wish that I had clearly, I mean, who wouldn't have wanted to win faster? I wish I would have learned that early on. So now that I understand this, in understanding how important a belief system is and a confidence and what a role that plays in you crossing your finish line. It's so important that I'm like helping high achieving women do that. Like I'm helping transform their belief system and their confidence to step out and to get uncomfortable, to step into their authority, to step into that leadership. Oftentimes we're trying to like play ourselves down or play small, like, oh, I don't think I'm ready for that, or oh, but I'm not going to be a good leader, or oh, but this, but that. It's like, sis, shut up and go do the dang thing. And when we think different, we show up different. Just like, have any of y'all ever like yesterday we took photos, we only took 805 because my bestie couldn't even get 1,000, and hashtag joke. And but like we got cute, and guess what, we showed up different for pictures. We had a little sass in the photos, we had a little fierce fire Mayfield showing up because I felt good, right? We went to the beach last night to take photos. I didn't feel that confident because the wind was blowing my hair around. Okay, my hair is part of my confidence, right? And so but when we believe, we just show up different. So I would say if you're brand new and you're in here, I would 100% lean all the way into whatever your team is doing. I would show up. And again, the stubborn newbies, right? Sometimes we get so stubborn about what it is that we're doing. Like, oh, I want to make $1,000, but I'm not doing Facebook Lives and I'm not doing host to post and I'm not messaging because hashtag ew. You're not making $1,000 then. That's okay. It's okay. You can make $75. That's okay with me. I'm still sleeping at night, but you don't get to have your cake and eat it too, right? And so, I would challenge you, be so stubborn about the $1,000 that you lean in and say, Jamie, what do I got to do? I got to do Facebook Lives. How many a week do you think I should do? 3? Okay, cool. I'm gonna do it. Alyssa, what do you think I should do? Right? Oh, you think I should host a post? How many a day minimum? Get up 10 a day. Okay, so message 30 people to get 10 to say yes to post. Okay, got it. I'm gonna do that. Be so stubborn about what it is that you want. Believe that it is yours. And how bad do you want it? And I mean, I just don't think that, I think any moment can be your season. I do think that there's something always like magical. Don't let this month, like some of you are brand new, you don't even know that this month is like wonky donkey, right? Don't let this month like distort anything, but just know that this is such a great moment. My biggest climbs have actually happened from like March to August, September. Like we're in such a magical moment of just being able to dream and play big, but be that ignorance on fire. Don't hold yourself back. Don't talk yourself out in that same energy that you use to talk yourself out of doing it. Oh, but I don't look good in camera. My hair doesn't look good. My house is a mess. Oh, my kids will be loud. Oh my gosh, what if I stutter? Okay, I've done that too. I like basically had full blown Tourette's one time on Facebook Live. It was fine. I was like, like, I don't even know what happened. It's fine. You just learn to laugh at yourself. Okay. I like dyed myself orange last Friday night. Okay. If y'all follow me on Instagram, just if you saw it, drop a yes. It was bad. I was like Oompa Loompa orange. And I just thought I can either hide for a week. And part of my arm is like, part of me is still orange. My legs are still have streaks. I was like, I could either hide for a week or I could just go on camera and laugh at myself. And guess what? It was the most views I've ever had in my Instagram stories ever in my history of Instagram stories, because I was something different and I was okay with laughing at myself. So I would just say, like, this season is not the time to start questioning. It's the time to say, okay. And I'm not saying ignore those feelings. I will never say ignore your feelings, but I would say, okay, all right, it's the little girl on the inside. Okay, I know you're scared and it's okay. You don't want to get uncomfortable. You don't want people to judge you. You have doubt and you have fear. That is okay. But I need you to move out of the driver's seat, because you being in the driver's seat, we're not crossing our finish line. And so you get to have all of those feelings. They're all very valid, but you're going to sit beside me. You can't control me right now. I have to be in the driver's seat, and you're going to give her a little hug. You're going to tell her she's awesome, and you're going to go drive your car and let your car go. And then you'll find out one day you've been playing small and you realize she got back in the driver's seat, and you can tell her it's okay. It's okay to be scared right now. You're going to do your first Instagram Live. That's scary. It's scary. I'm telling my daughter right now, she's in 5th grade. She's like, Mom, I don't want to go to middle school. And me and Jason basically traumatized her. We're like, yeah, your first day, you're going to cry your eyes out. You're going to be scared. You're going to get lost because all you've known is being at the top of the food chain of elementary school. You're very confident there. You know everybody. You know where to go. And there's a lot of unknowns in middle school. And it's going to be scary. But guess what? The worst is the first day. That's always, and then you're going to be fine. But it's going to be change. And you can't let it stop. You got to show up the second day and you go, I'm going to drop you off the third day. It's going to happen. Right. In the same mindset, we have to be the captain of our ship and coach ourselves in that same way. So I just say lean all into what your team is doing. And even if it, give your leader, here's what I'm going to leave you with. Oh, you guys are so cute. Give your leader permission to lead you. Give your leader permission to call you out. Your leader's going to praise you. They're going to give you recognition. They're going to tell you how awesome you are, but give your leader permission to make you uncomfortable and to challenge you. And I'm just going to be real. If you don't want it, then why are you here? You're just wasting your time, but there's real opportunity on the table. I could have never paid off $63,801.99 in 6 months. We thought it would take us a year. We planned out a year. God did it in 6 months because we just showed up. We kept leaning in. It was the worst process ever. It was the worst 6 months ever. So grateful we got through it though, right? The climb to the top, worst thing ever. I never want to do this again. But I'm here, number 14 in the company. It's crazy, you guys. There's nothing greater on the inside of me that's not on the inside of you. You can do this too. You just have to believe.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so stinking much. I have no words. I just love your journey. I remember watching you when y'all wore your t-shirts with the numbers on the back, green carpet or conference or whatever it was. Yeah, I remember watching all of that and just starting to follow you. If you guys don't follow her on social media, you should definitely go follow Ashleigh. She has an insane podcast that I listen to daily, Fireball Podcast. So you can get that type of energy. She 24/7 brings that type of energy, and I am so freaking here for it. So I appreciate that so much. I love your debt-free journey. I love that y'all are only 8 away from doubling. Didn't Mark challenge y'all to 50 or something, and y'all are at like 92? Yeah.
Yes, so we just hit 93. Now we're 7 now.
Oh my gosh, that's so incredible. So if y'all don't know what I'm talking about, go to her Facebook or Instagram. Something that's huge in her tribe is she helps people go debt free and cut up credit cards. And that is something they're super passionate about in her organization. And so they had a challenge and they are like doubling their challenge and they're killing it. So I just want to say thank you from all of us. Can we get some zeros and fires and all the things in the chat? We appreciate you so much. And you have so many fans on tonight. So I appreciate you.
Thank you guys. Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity. I really do. It's very humbling. And I saw someone say something about book recommendations. I'm actually in the process of rebuilding my website. And so just follow me on social media. I have like freebies that I'm going to be doing. Like I have a book recommendation. I've got 21 affirmations for high achieving women. They're things that I've personally created. I'm really excited about it. And so my website is going to be launching in the next week or two. And so I'll announce it all on my social media. So you'll get all those freebies. But yeah, I love you guys and I believe in you, and know that my tough love comes from a place of passion. It comes from a place of I believe you enough to speak to you the way that I feel, that the way that I communicate the way that I feel like it needs to be received. And but yeah, thank you guys for the opportunity. And Jamie, you're a rock star. I love you, girl.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Love you, friend. We will talk soon. You guys have an awesome night.